Hi, this is Devashish Makhija, and you're watching me on Movie Cafe.
Hi, this is Awan, and today on Movie Cafe, we have one of the prominent filmmakers whose film Joram is doing wonders, has done wonders at the different film festivals, national and international. And the film has also won two important awards at the Film Fair, that is for the best film in Critics' Choice and the best story, which is written by Devashish Makhija himself. So here's the man. We're proud to welcome Devashish Makhija onto our show. Welcome, sir. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. Thank you.
So
Nice
many.
to meet you again.
Yeah, in 2022 we had met. That was during August, and we're glad to have you today here again. And first of all, congratulations for the Critics Guild. Right, you won two awards again at the Film Critics Guild Critics Awards. Many congrats for the writing and the editing category of awards that you won, and also
Great meeting you. Yeah.
editing. Yeah, right. So, and beyond that, there are many more awards. It's uncountable number of awards. So, Joram has done exceedingly well. And his films, let me tell you, they are achingly realistic. They are mostly against the backdrop of corruption and nefarious activities, standing between there is a moral standoff between police, Naxalites, Maoists, and there is a collision between the new and the old world that he creates in his films. So, Debashish, just tell me, for Joram, what has been the most gratifying experience for you? Like, of course, the film did exceedingly well in the different film festivals that it was part of. But the most important and gratifying experience that you remember, uh, can you please tell us?
With films like mine, they're not, I mean, the fact that it will release in your home country, people will watch it here, that it will find a theater release, all of those are very rare occurrences.
Yes.
Like a theater release has never happened to me before. And even when my films release here, it takes a long time for them to pick up traction. So all of those were also very special. But with a film like Joram, it's such a long journey that every step when something good happens is as special. Because if for example, if the film had released on a Friday
Mm,
without doing festivals and no one
mm,
knew about it and they just went in blind, nobody would watch a film like this. So to get a world premiere in a A-list festival like Rotterdam, then to be in competition in the biggest festivals in every continent, from Sydney in Australia to
right.
Durban in South Africa to Chicago in North America,
Yeah.
and then Busan in Asia, and coming to Mami, because
Yeah.
Mami just is like it's like cricket at Eden Gardens as an Indian team. It's like at home ground, and the kind
Homegrown.
of crowds and the kind of love and support
Right.
it gets there, and then finding a place in the theaters. So every step has been really special. We
Yeah.
didn't expect Joram to have such a rewarding journey. So everything that came was a surprise and it was very, very uh, like
That.
memorable. So I wouldn't say one was more memorable than the other.
Yeah. So yeah, definitely the Bashish. So you told that the journey for Joram was long, right? And it was also an arduous journey. So can you please tell me how did this idea of Joram come to your mind?
So I've been researching this situation of
Mm,
development and how we dispossess the Adivasi of their land and how unsustainable our cities are and the
mm,
kind of carbon footprint that we all leave are not thinking about it, but
right.
someone else somewhere is paying the price for it. So I've been
Yeah.
bothered by these things for almost 2 decades. So I've been reading and traveling and I've stayed in a lot of Adivasi villages when I traveled some 12, 13 years ago. And
Hmm.
I've been some sort of a small time, not a very full time activist in the matter. So it's
Hmm.
not like the idea came to me suddenly. It's just all this material has been inside me. I've
Yeah.
written it as a novel called Unga, made a short film around the situation called Cycle. I talk about these kind of unsustainable environmental ideas in all my children's picture books
Yeah.
and in my book of short stories, Forgetting. So it's all been inside me. So it just
Right.
finds different form in different mediums. And Joram is just one of them.
Okay. So, like Unga, which was our first film, right? Proper film, feature film. So, was
Yeah.
it like, can we tell it as an extension of what we had in our subconscious? Was it an extension of that? Because that film also was based on an Adivasi boy, right? So, and this one is also on a man who is on a run actually, and you have given a thriller flavor to it. So, was it the Unga in your, was there an Unga in your subconscious level that you took the thought forward to with?
No, like I'm saying, I express the same ideas and the same questions and the same uh, politics of development in so many
Yeah,
different mediums,
right.
in different ways, that it was just one of them. It's not
Mhm.
like Unga was in my subconscious, because Unga is just one of the 50 stories I've written around the situation.
Right,
There
right.
are some 10 stories in my book of short stories, Forgetting. And there's a short
Uh-huh.
film I made called Cycle.
Cycle, yeah.
These are all stories around the same questions. So it's like I've assimilated so much of this rage and these questions inside me,
Hmm. Hmm.
that when I get an opportunity, come out in some form. So
Yeah.
Joram is one of those forms, Unga is one of those forms.
Okay. So, but Devashish, what does Joram actually mean? I know the film is, the name is basically the kid of, or the infant of the protagonist of the film, played by Manoj Bajpayee. But what does that mean to you? As in, all your films are based on the on a character's title. Like Aji was there, like
Yeah.
Mostly was there. This one is also based on that infant character's name. But what does it may name particularly mean?
So the name particularly doesn't mean anything, because it's also a very, it's something I, in this film at least, with Adivasi names,
Hmm.
unlike Hindu religious names, which are so loaded with meaning, like my
Hmm.
own name, Devashish, it apparently means blessing of the gods. And I don't like
Right.
my name. I'm like, I didn't decide name, someone else decided it for me. And now I'm
Right.
stuck with this name and I have to live up to blessing of the gods. I don't feel like a blessing of the gods. So Joram, like a lot of Adivasi names, and I'm not an authority on the Adivasi, and I don't like speaking on their behalf, but a lot of the names don't carry this burden of religious meaning.
Okay.
So even Joram has no meaning really. But what it
Hmm.
signifies for me in the story
Yeah.
is the legacy. That's why the name of the infant with which we named the film. And we didn't name the
Hmm.
film after Manoj Bajpayee's character. So
Yeah.
what is the legacy that we are leaving behind for the next generation? And everything that we are doing to the people who are alive, even the violence that we perpetrate, will have a
Hmm.
ripple effect on the next generation.
Right.
And those cycles of
Right.
unsustainability and violence and
Hmm.
the destruction of the environment, these cycles won't break till we break them in this generation. So it really was supposed, for me at least, was a metaphor for the legacy that we are leaving behind, or the lack of a legacy.
So coming to Joram, like, did what was the any real challenges that you encountered? You shot in those real locations. From the film, we see
Yeah.
that okay, the shooting might not have been easy to do, right? But in your personal experience, from your personal perspective, like, do you remember any such vivid challenges that you faced during the shooting of the film?
There was an average of one life-threatening challenge every day,
Uh-huh.
because we were in locations, most of our locations, from moving trains to the climax that is in the iron ore mines.
Right, right.
And this character, he's constantly on the run. So every day we were in a different location.
Hmm.
And these locations, because no one was there before, are not really shooting friendly. They're not supportive of 200 people landing up there and trying to achieve a shot.
Right.
Like if you shoot in Bombay, for example, there
Yeah.
is a certain awareness in people about films being shot.
Yeah.
But when you're running from Maharashtra all the way to Jharkhand and into the iron ore mines, it's
Right.
also the first film ever in India to be shot in a live working iron ore
I,
mine. So
I,
you can imagine the challenges.
yeah,
They
yeah.
were endless.
Especially when you talk about that scene where Manoj is like his character is on the run and from like and Zishan is following him in the train inside, right, and he jumps off. So Manoj is with the
Yeah.
infant, right? So how did you manage to convince even
Yeah.
the parents of the infants like that this shooting will be that difficult to do and in the running train? How was it? How do you do that?
So it's a big, the biggest award for me on this film is when viewers like you don't realize that 90% of the time it's a prosthetic dummy baby.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah, because imagine a 3-month-old baby,
Yeah.
the neck and the spine is very, very fragile. So
Yeah.
I couldn't have risked a 3-month-old baby in all of that running and
It
action
doesn't
and
show at all.
falling
Yeah.
and picking up and
Uh-huh.
gunfire. So
As
there was
in, it is so
meticulous
authentic.
planning for six
Yeah.
months. Yeah, meticulous planning, then meticulous workshopping between all
Yes.
the departments from camera to action to the prosthetic baby to costume. The decision of putting it in the sling and
Hmm.
covering
Hmm.
it, and then Manoj also body language. His hand is always on the baby's head.
Right.
So
Right.
half the time it's covering the baby, giving away all my magic tricks.
Correct.
But 80-90% of the time, the baby is not the real baby. I couldn't have risked the baby's life.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was so meticulous done that we were hoping that nobody will catch when the real baby is being replaced and when the real babies come back.
This is the second time you are working with Manoj. First was as in okay. If I consider
Third
full
time actually.
film,
Tandav,
Tandav, I'm not.
yeah, yeah,
I didn't include. Yeah, but Tandav, then Bhosle, then Joram, and also I think for the second
yeah,
time with Smita, right after
yeah,
Ajit. So
yeah.
how was it working with them? Do you feel a comfort level working with them when you collaborate for the second or more? Not for the first time, second time, third time. Do as a director?
Always, always. Yeah. Every creative partnership is also a human relationship. And when
Okay.
you make a friend or
Hmm.
you get into a relationship, a proper relationship, it takes time to get to know people and you
Yes.
hold on to it for the comfort, anything else. But
Yeah.
in terms of a working creative partnership, I think two things matter. One, yes, the comfort, and two, how brilliant that person is. Like if these actors were not brilliant, I would
Yeah.
not work with them again. But the fact
Of
is that they're
course.
brilliant
Yeah.
and we
Mm.
have found a certain vibe. So on films that are difficult, like Ajji or Bhosle or Joram or any of my short films,
Yeah.
even my short films have been very difficult to make.
Oh, yeah.
When you're in that extreme circumstance, it's like being, I keep using this analogy of war. It's like being in war and everyone is a soldier
Mm-hmm.
and everyone has to watch everyone's back. क्योंकि गोलियां हम सब पे चल रही हैं.
Hmm.
मैं गिर गया तो उसकी जान को खतरा है. So
Correct.
all these actors are actually warriors. So I know that a Manoj on a set will watch my back. He's not just coming as an actor.
Ah,
I know Smita understands how difficult my films are to make, and she will go beyond her call of duty to
yeah.
bring more to the film. So more than comfort, it's that I seek longer partnerships with people who I know will
Hmm.
fight alongside me and bring more to the film than just doing their job.
Right, right, definitely. Devashish, why do you, as in, what does anything challenge you to do these difficult films? Because all your films, which I've seen, right from Ajji to uh, Bhosle to Joram, they are not easy films. Like it's not easy for the audience also to watch, right? Aji was definitely
Yeah.
kind of vigilante justice. We spoke about that, and you put Abhishek Banerjee on a very difficult terrain, right? He was doing more of
Yeah.
comic roles. We discussed about that, and now
Yeah.
Joram is entirely
Yeah.
a different terrain for Manoj, for an actor like Manoj Bajpayee. Like, why? As in, what propels you to make these difficult films? I understand there is a rage inside you, but what, for a filmmaker, as a filmmaker, what exactly encourages you to make these complex films?
But Avan, you've actually just answered your question. I don't have anything extra to say other than the fact that there is a lot of rage against the
Uh-huh.
system. I don't see myself as a filmmaker. I see
Okay.
myself as a storyteller, and I want to tell
Mm.
stories that carry my questions against the system. So
Mm.
the day I'm not allowed to make films, I have written a novel, I have written a bunch of short stories, I've written
Yeah, right.
5 children's picture, I've done graphic art, I write poetry. Like
Mm.
right now, while we are talking, I don't have a green light on a future film. I don't know when my next film will be made, but I have three
Um,
books releasing over the next 1 year.
Great.
My book of poetry, two picture books, and I'm in talks for my second novel. So I
Fantastic.
don't limit myself to the medium. So
Mm.
I'm not really a film buff. I'm not crazy about cinema that if I can't make cinema, I'll die. Like Anurag. Anurag is crazy about cinema. His primary urge in filmmaking is to make cinema. But for
Yeah,
me, my primary urge is to raise my questions. If
yeah,
you stop me from raising questions in cinema, you drop the medium like this. I'll
yeah.
go into another medium.
Because your films don't have a conventional hero heroine. They don't have even have a conventional
Yeah.
good versus evil standoff. It's beyond that, right? They're
My
beyond that.
morality is always complex,
Yeah,
like it is in the real world.
right.
Yeah.
And even in Joram, we saw that. I saw that in Bhosle also. The conclusion, maybe bit of spoiler, but yes, that's okay, I believe. The conclusion, the film's ending, they're quite inconclusive, right? As in, we in the during the climax of Joram, we see that the character played by Banod Bajpayee is on the run. It's not ending there. So was it purposefully done?
I
Was it
mean,
purposeful?
yes, I would definitely do something like this purposefully. All
Okay.
most in my most of what you see is has been envisioned on paper. I
Mm-hmm.
don't take too many chances shooting because I don't get the kind of budgets I need. I don't get the kind of time I need. I'm
Mm-hmm.
always up against severe obstacles on those real world locations.
Uh-huh.
So I write in so much detail that
Yeah.
even the sound design will be audible to you in my script. So
Yeah.
when
Right.
you ask me, was that planned? It meticulously planned, that climax.
Huh.
No other definitive climax would justice to a story that's raising these questions. I needed the audiences to walk away feeling dissatisfied, feeling like it's not over. Will it ever
Unsettling.
end? Will he
Yeah.
keep going? Yeah, will he keep running? Yes, he will keep running. Until you stand up and ask questions about what is going wrong, he will have to keep running. His journey will never end.
Great. Well, we also hope that you keep running with full gusto, full energy, and the kind of films that you make, you get the all the important paraphernalia that it needs to be made. So
Thank
here
you.
is wishing
Thank you.
you all the very best to Makhija Films and have a lovely week ahead, Devashish.
Thank you. Thank you, Avan. Thank you.